Welcome to Capilito Studios. I am Chris. In today's class, we will focus on areas that swimmers tend to have some issues with: calf, quads, hip flexors, posterior shoulders, and the pec muscles. Stick with me to the end of the session to be sure to learn how to improve your range of motion. Like and subscribe below. Let's get started. We're going to begin with our calf muscles. So you're going to extend each leg onto the roller above the ankle. So you want to make sure that if you are bending and straightening those knees, that you are not hitting the heel of your foot. And so with both legs extended out, you're seated, arms behind you comfortably. If it bothers your wrist, feel free to be on your knuckles or all the way on your elbows. Now we're going to start out by just rocking those legs together side to side. I want you to rock them both to the right and then bend and straighten your knees. So we're massaging them both at the same time right now, and we're getting the outside edge of one and the inside edge of the other, and then we're going to rotate the legs to the left, both of them. So both feet are pointing to the left, and we're going to bend and straighten, massaging along that. So again, the density of your roller does matter. If this is super painful, you might want to go with a softer, less dense roller, or put a towel, wrap a towel around the roller. We're going to turn the toes now so both legs are straight, toes to the sky, and we're going to bend and straighten. So we're going up and down the middle of that calf. Then what we're going to do is we're going to scoot the body quite a bit up, make a big scooch forward, or pull that roller down so it's in the middle of the meaty part of your calf muscles. We're going to turn both legs to the right again, and we're going to bend and straighten. So we're massaging again along the outside. So this is just a prep for what we're going to do next, is we're going to dig in a little bit deeper to the calf muscles. Now we're going to turn the legs to the left, toes to the left, and bend and straighten again. See if you can relax the feet. I tend to automatically flex my feet, which I want to actually relax them. And then right to the middle, toes are up, and then relax them, but both legs are straight, and bend and straighten. So you're getting the middle of the calf. Excellent. Then you're going to take that roller all the way back down to where you started. But again, you've got a few inches, the roller is a few inches above your ankle. You're going to place the right leg on the roller, left leg on top of that right. We're getting a little deeper now. You're going to bend and straighten that knee. The toes are still facing up. So you're working on the back of the right side of the back of that right leg. Then you're going to turn that right leg to the right. So now you're on the outside edge of the right, bend and straighten. Now I want you to add a circle with your ankle. Circle the ankle while you are bending and straightening the knee. I know, I'm very demanding today. You have to think about two different things and do. And then reverse your rotation of your ankle the opposite way. Now if you find a tender spot, I want you to pause on it and just rotate the ankle both directions. That's a trigger point, and we want to massage those out. Then you're going to turn your foot to the left. Your right foot is turning to the left. So now you're on the inside, and you're going to rotate that ankle while you're bending and straightening. This also works coordination at the same time. And then you're going to bring that foot straight up and down, but I want you to rotate the ankle as you're bending and straightening. Then you're going to move that roller higher up. So now you're in the meaty part of the calf, right in the middle of that gastroc. The left leg is crossed on top of that right ankle. Left ankle on top of the right. Now as you're bending and straightening with the foot up and down, you're circling the ankle. So that right foot is circling as the knee bends and straightens, and then you're going to turn that right leg to the right, pivot it, and then bend and straighten, circle the ankle. Again, finding any of those trigger points. I got a spot right there. So I'm going to pause on it. I'm going to circle my ankle, both directions, and then bend and straighten again. Loosen things up. Now we're turning the leg in to the left, bend and straighten. If you start to The roller started scooting up on me a little bit, so I had to move it down. So you don't want to go right behind the knee. You want to stay below the knee at all times, behind that knee joint. And now you're circling the ankle, bending and straightening the knee. Excellent. Now you're going to walk that roller all the way back down to where they started. You're on the left leg now, so cross your right leg over the left. You're about a few inches above the ankle. Again, if you're bending and straightening, you're not hitting your heel. And then you're going to rotate the ankle. The left foot is up towards the sky, the knee is bending and straightening, and you're circling both directions with that ankle. Then you're going to turn the foot to your left and bend and straighten. So now you're getting on the outside edge of that left calf. Circle the ankle. If it's too painful with your right leg crossed on top, just leave it bent and the foot on the floor, or just let it rest bent. That works too. And notice how my shoulders are going up into my ears. So I'm trying to relax a little bit into those shoulders if you're pushing into it. And you can even drop to those elbows. Either works. Then we're going to turn the leg in so the toe is pointed to the right. Again, drop to the elbows if you need to. I was just demonstrating it. I'm going to stay up on my hands, and I'm going to bend my elbows so I don't go so much into my shoulders. And maybe even the fingertips so you have less pressure. Make all your weight go in your glutes and where you're sitting on the floor, just so you have more pressure there and then in your shoulders. So your foot is rotated to the right, rotate the ankle. Good. Now, center, roll that roller higher up. We're in the middle of the gastroc now on that left leg. Right leg is crossed over, bending and straightening, circling the ankle both directions. Find a spot, just pause and circle. The idea is to stay small and slow. I'm just doing tiny little movements. I'm not moving a great deal of, and not super fast. And then I'm turning to the left, to the whole leg, and I'm bending and straightening enough to circle the ankle. So it's not super fast like this. We're not doing Speedy Gonzalez here. And you're gonna rotate. Remember that cartoon? I remember that cartoon. I'm aging myself. And then you're gonna turn that foot all the way to the right and rotate that ankle. And circle, circle. That's it. And then last one, back to the center. There we go. Calf is done. You're gonna take your feet off the roller, and we're gonna stretch them. So go ahead and bring that roller out to the side. We're gonna transition to tabletop. So a couple options. You can put your hands under your shoulders and just put one foot back and stretch it. Now we're gonna add a little bit of a core challenge here. So push into the fingertips, and I want you to lift your left leg off the floor and then shift yourself forward and back into towards the heel, into the ball of the foot. And then press back one time and hold, and then rise those hips, lift the hips. So almost like you're going into downward facing dog, but your left foot is off the floor. So all your feet weight is in the right foot. And then we're gonna lower back to the knee and both knees on the floor. Go ahead and extend the left toe to the floor. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, pull the belly in as you start to lift that right knee off the floor and the right foot, and then shift yourself forward and back. So you're in a plank on the hands and the left foot, and then push into those toes. So you're not sticking your hips way high quite yet. We're just holding that plank, pushing into those fingertips, stretching that calf. Good. Go ahead and lift up a little higher like you are going into that downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out, and then lower all the way back down onto the knees. Whew, good job. All right, now we're gonna move on. So we did calf. We're gonna touch on hamstrings just a bit, and we're gonna do one leg at a time. So you wanna find, and whether you have a short or a long roller doesn't matter, you can use a short one, but I want you to stay close to an edge of your roller so the other leg can hang off of the roller. So I'm going to sit on the roller on the very edge. So I have my right hamstring on that roller and the left foot is on the side. And I'm just using my hands like this to roll. Now, if this is super challenging, like my arms are not real long, so I might have to lean back a little bit onto the floor and move it this way. If you want a little bit extra challenge, you can cross your left leg on top of the right, and then rock yourself side to side as well. Right at the top, I'm putting my right heel on the floor just so I have a little more stability, and rocking my body side to side, and then I'm pulling myself backward so the roller moves down my thigh as I move side to side. And then I actually sit on the floor as I get closer to the knee, and I rock side to side. Excellent. And then when you're done, we're going to switch sides. So I'm moving the roller to the other side. I'm going to bring myself up. So now I'm on the left back of my thigh, the hamstring. And again, maybe you use that right foot on the floor for leverage and just move forward and back. And you can move side to side. If you want to get deeper and it's comfortable, you can cross that right leg over the left. And then scoot backwards so the roller moves down the back of that hamstring. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. I finally send my glutes. My bottom is on the floor, and I'm rocking side to side on the back of that hamstring. It actually feels pretty good. And then we're going to release. And then slide that roller out of the way. So let's stretch the hamstring. And now we've done the calf and the hamstring, so we're working our way up. We're going to straighten out the right leg and bend your left knee. And then flex the foot. Now I want you to lift your torso nice and tall, and then twist towards your right leg, and then reach forward towards your foot. Now if you can't reach your foot, that's okay, but I want you to slightly bend and straighten that right knee. Just because, again, we want the body to adjust here and start to lengthen. Now maybe pull your toe towards your forehead, like it's flexing. Maybe you can reach your toe, maybe not. So we're gonna get a little calf, a little extra hamstring. Lean into it. Try to bring your nose towards your knee. And just feel that stretch. Maybe wiggle your toes, shake your leg, rolling. My right heel's on the floor, and I'm rolling my foot right and left to side. Now I'm going to have you walk your body up. Take your right knee. I want you to bend it enough that you can slide your left ankle underneath it. And lean into it again and bring your nose towards your knee. Now you might get a little deeper into the hamstrings now. Back of that thigh. Maybe you get a little closer to the foot or the knee. And just feel that length. Good. Now we're going to walk it up. Take that foot out from under the right knee. And I want you to bend the left knee and just let it fall open. Let that knee fall open. Flex the left. It'll sit up nice and tall. And we're going to lean into it. And then when you lean into it, just do a little bend and straighten of that left leg. Letting it know we're stretching it out. Maybe now let it rest on the floor, bringing your head towards your knee. Maybe you can reach your foot. Maybe you can pull your toes towards your forehead or your knee. Or you can push your forehead towards your knee. Either way. And then you're going to come up. Now, bend your left knee, slide your right ankle underneath your left knee, and then lower your body towards that left thigh. So we're just going back to the same position, leaning forward. Let gravity assist. Now your left heel is on the floor, and you're drawing that foot right and left. And just as you go there, just let your body melt towards the floor. Let gravity assist, bringing you forward. Maybe you can get to your knee easier now. And then work your way up and straighten out the legs. Excellent job. Now we're going to move on. We did calf and hamstring. We're going to move to quads. Quads is actually, correction, we're not moving to quads. We're moving to glutes. I said that backwards. We'll get to quads in a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to move to glutes and then psoas. I have a specific order because once we get there, once we get all this part, I'm going to really test your range of motion. So whether you're a swimmer or you just are unloading the dishwasher and need to get something on the top shelf, we need that range of motion. So before we even move to the glutes, I want you to sit up nice and tall and just reach your arms up and just do a couple reaches side to side and see how that feels, and maybe notice where your arms reach. And we'll test this a few times, but at the end, we're really going to get into range of motion, and I'm going to show you at the end how to increase your range of motion through your whole shoulder and how far you reach, and getting that upper body rotation going. Torso is so important, and in swimming, it can make all the difference in the world how far that you can reach. So we're sitting on the glutes. Let's start on the left. So what I want you to do is bring your left hand to the floor behind it, and we're going to keep the feet flat on the floor and both knees bent, and we're leaning our whole body weight and tilting to the left onto the glute. So I want you to roll to the top and to the bottom of that glute. And you can feel, so you're rolling north and south on the left glute because we're leaning on that left side. Now we're keeping those feet down and you're going slow. So it's not super fast. We're keeping it slow and controlled, because when we go fast, we tend to tense up a little more, and the body can adapt this way. So I want you to straighten out your left leg and continue to roll that whole glute. So the foot's dragging pretty much on the floor, forward and back. As you're leaning on that left arm behind you, the right leg is drawing the body forward and back. Good. Now from the glute, we're going to go deeper into the psoas. So you're going to bring your left ankle over the right thigh. Right foot stays flat, and you're still on that left hand. And you're going to open up that left knee and now roll that whole left butt cheek glute. So some of you might be like, whoa, yeah, are you feeling this? Yeah, this can get a little intense. So that psoas, it's a little muscle deep in the glute. It has a big job, especially when we are moving our legs. It's controlling a lot of that movement of our hip and our leg. So then I want you to find the middle of that glute, and you're going to rock your body east and west, side to side, and keeping that left knee open all the way. So you're going as far to the side as you can, to the left, and then back to the right. If you find a trigger point or spot, pause on it and just move your knee up and down, like the knee is flapping, like a wing. Now we're going to uncross that left foot, and we're going to sit forward onto the ground and straighten out both legs. Now I want you to sit up nice and tall and feel the difference. So you might feel something going on in that left glute. So we're going to bend the left knee, we're going to hug it in, but I'm going to take that foot over the right thigh. And I want you to wrap that right arm around the left knee, sit up as tall as you can. Now pull that knee into the chest and flex your right foot. So really stretching not only the glute, but the psoas as we got in there nice and deep. And that's going to help your range of motion in your hip. I'm smiling because we all need that range of motion in our hips. It just makes us feel better, and it helps with the back as well. You can also take your left hand and reach it behind you as a kickstand and maybe twist a little deeper. Maybe pull that knee in a little closer to the chest. And breathe in and breathe out. And now we're going to let that leg go, and we're going to switch sides. All right, so just go back up on your roller. I'm going to turn to my right side, so I'm still looking at you, and I want you to bring your right hand behind you on the floor, and you're tilting your body weight towards the right glute. And then you're just going to roll with both feet flat on the floor, knees bent again, and roll up and down all the way to the top of that right glute or butt cheek, and then all the way to the bottom where it meets the leg. Full range of motion, and notice the difference. My right side's definitely more sensitive today. And then all the way. I just want to go slow and controlled. And then I want you to find the middle of that glute, straighten your right leg, and then roll north and south again. So that leg is straight, the right leg, but you're still rolling that whole glute. And try to relax here as much as you can. If you need a block or something for your arm on the floor, that is fine, or a book, just to hold yourself up a little higher. Then we're gonna take that right ankle and we're gonna cross it over the left thigh and open up that right knee and roll that glute top and bottom again. Top and bottom. And again, if you find a spot, pause and move that knee up and down like a wing. And you can also rock the body east and west now from the middle of that glute. Feels so good, right? We're finding those spots, getting them to dissolve, getting those trigger points, getting that when we get rid of those trigger points and that crystallized tissue in there, it does help our flexibility, our range of motion, and less chance of injury. So this is a great preventative. Now you're going to release that right ankle and sit all the way down on the floor and straighten out both legs. Sit up nice and tall. Now the right leg is going to hug in, and we're going to cross it over the left, wrap that left arm and hug that right knee. Sit up tall, up, up, up. Lift up, tuck your chin so everything stays in alignment, and just breathe. Flex that left foot. Feel that right glute stretching out. Notice the difference on this side. Do you feel a little more resistance maybe? Yeah, me too. A little more resistance on this side. Unless you're left-handed and you're left dominant, you might have felt it a little more on the other side. That's normal. Then you can take your right hand behind you, put it on the floor for support like a kickstand, and just see if you can twist and pull that knee in a little bit more. And then just enjoy that stretch. So remember I mentioned quads? Well, that's what we're gonna go to next. So now, as I promised, we're gonna go to quads. So we're getting higher up, and this again, so quad and hip flexors where we're gonna focus. And this is, quads. They work so hard when you are swimming, when you're doing anything, when you're hiking, walking, everything. So everybody needs quads, I say all the time. So we're gonna release that leg. Let's flip around. You're gonna assume a plank position with the roller right above your knees and your elbows on the floor. Now I want you to just test it out because we're gonna change this up a little bit. And I want you to have that roller again. It's right above your knees. You don't touch your kneecaps. And you're just going to slowly roll the roller up the thigh while you're walking your elbows backwards. Super slow. Snail pace. So slow all the way up those thighs. I am hitting the wall. So keep on going. And when you get to as far as you can, you're going to use the elbows to walk yourself forward so that roller moves back down your thighs all the way. And now this is where you might notice as the roller gets down your thighs, it stops above the kneecaps. Again, don't go over the knees. You might notice one leg more sensitive than the other. Normal. So then we're going to slide off the back of the roller. So again, this is where if you have a shorter roller, it might be a little easier for this part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the roller over. I'm only going to do one leg at a time. Okay, so I'm going to start on my left leg. I'm purposely doing that because I know my right's going to be tighter. So it's up to you if you want to start on your left and join me that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my left quad, the front of my leg above the knee on the roller. I'm bending my right leg out to the side and it's resting on the floor, my right knee. And then I'm just going to move my body using my elbows forward and back 1 inch on that roller. So it's just on the left thigh. And then I want to pause. Again, you're above the knee and I want you to bend and straighten that left knee. Bend and straighten. So think about it when you're walking, when you're kicking, when you're, whatever we're doing, that's one of the motions, right? We're kicking, we're that knee, even if it's a small bend. Then I want you to walk your body backwards about 2 inches or 3, slide your knee back, and then work your body forward and back like you're rolling about 1 inch or 2 You're higher up on that thigh. And then you're going to pause and you're going to bend and straighten that left leg again. Now we're going to move up the thigh again. So I'm walking my elbows back, I'm rolling the thigh up, I'm moving my knee along with me on the floor, and then, and then roll forward and back. And then you're going to pause and you're going to bend and straighten that quad. And then you're going to slide back and forward and back. We're getting to the top of that thigh, that quadricep. And you're going to pause and bend and straighten. So depending on where you're tight, you might be feeling this more, maybe less. All right, you're going to go up as high as you can. Now, as you go up this part, everybody's leg length is different. So maybe you have further to go, but I'm just about where my leg is starting to connect into that whole hip area. So I'm going forward and back. So move yourself up till you're there. And then I'm going to bend and straighten. It's called the hip flexor. That's where those quadricep muscles transition up into the hip. So basically think of it as if you were to bend your whole leg or pull your knee up, it's where that crease would be at your hip. That's the part you want to have on the roller. Now what you're going to do is you're going to transition. You're on your left, right? Correct? And you're going to place your right hand on the floor. You're going to tilt your whole body onto that left side, on top of the roller. So now my right foot is on the floor, knee is bent. And I'm going to roll myself forward towards the right, so the top of my thigh, front of it goes to the roller, and then I'm rolling backwards towards my butt, and I'm bringing the right foot behind me, and then I'm swinging forward and bringing that foot in front again. So the right leg is swinging back, tapping the floor, and front tapping the floor as I roll from basically the bottom of my glute to the front of my hip flexor. One more time. Excellent. And then you're going to slide all the way off. Part your knees and feet together. Let's take a child's pose. And draw down and pause and breathe. Good. Now, come on up. How's that feeling so far? Okay, I can feel the excitement. We're going to do the other thigh. So, now the right side. So you're going to transition, and we're going to stretch that a little bit deeper in a minute after we do the right quad. So, again, bringing it right above the right knee. My left knee is going out to the side, and I'm on my elbows. And I'm going to move myself forward and back on that right quad. Then I'm going to find the center, and I'm going to bend and straighten. Definitely can feel a difference on this side. And then I'm going to walk my elbows backwards. My knee is coming with me, my left knee. I'm going to move forward and back an inch, up and down, pause, and then straighten and bend that knee. Not rushing anything, and then roll yourself, straighten the leg, roll yourself back again so that roller goes up the thigh, and then move yourself forward and back again. So it's moving along that thigh up and down, and then pause, and then straighten and bend that right knee. And then straighten it, walk your elbows back so that roller moves up the thigh more. And then move forward and back. And then pause and straighten and bend that knee. And then one more time. I'm getting into my challenging area, my hip flexor. And we are going to move forward and back. And again, if it's too painful, I'm tucking my right toe and I'm putting more weight into my left leg so I don't have as much on the roller tension-wise. or pressure because it's pretty sensitive. So I want to be kind to my body and not hurt. And then I'm going to bend and straighten my right knee. And then you're moving up the last bit. So this is where we're going to move that roller up into where, basically where if you bent your leg and it would crease at that hip. That's the part that you want to go on the roller, right on the front of that hip flexor. And then you're going to turn your whole body to the backwards. So you're laying on your right hip. Remember I talked about quad and hip flexors. So this all goes together. And this is also including the TFL, tenor fascia latae, which we hit already on the other side. Your left foot is flat on the floor, the knee is bent, and you're gonna roll forward towards that quad and then back, flip the leg behind you so you can go back towards the glute and then forward again and then back. Now again, if this is sensitive, throw a towel around your roller, get a softer roller, take a break, come back and do it again. So if it's sensitive, it probably means you're pretty tight here and you have a lot of really stuck tissue. So you want to be able to get that worked out. And so you're more flexible, pliable, bendy, and you can do all kinds of amazing things. One more. And roll on back. Excellent. Now we're going to come up and you're just going to sit in front of your roller. Go ahead and sit in front of your roller. Now we're going to stretch them out. We did the child's pose before, but I want to really stretch the hip flexor. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend your right knee because we did the left first. So we're going to actually stretch the left hip first. You're going to lean onto your right butt or hip in that right leg. Pull your left leg behind you and bend it. So you're bending the knee, the left knee, and the knee is on the floor. And then you're going to start to reach your left arm over your head and across, and then push your hip forward and up. Now my right hand is on the floor for a kickstand. Now if you want more, you can just lift your hip off the floor, your right hip, and extend through that left hip. So your right knee is staying on the floor, your right shin is supporting you. You can always stay here on the floor and just press that left hip forward. And then we're going to come all the way back down. Let's try the other side. So you're going to come back to neutral. I'm bending my left knee and pulling the foot towards my hip. And then I'm going to lean onto my left hip, place the left hand behind me, and then I'm bending my right knee, but I'm pulling the foot behind me to the right. So you've got 90 and 90 going on. Lift your right arm up and over. I'm going to turn this way. So lift that arm up and over and stretch, stretch. Now option here is to push into your left shin and the bottom right shin and lift the hips off the floor so you're stretching out the front and the side of that right hip. And you're breathing. It feels so good. Lengthening. And then we're coming all the way back down. That was fantastic. All right, now the fun part. We're going to get into range of motion and how far you can reach. So let's test it out. So the first thing I want you to do is just sit however is comfortable, crossing the legs, legs straight, whatever works. Lift your left arm up and just reach it as high as it can go and tune into the armpit, the side of the waist. Feel it, reach those fingertips, chin is tucked, notice the neck. Lower the arm. Now try the other arm, right side. You might notice the difference, one side or the other. Maybe it's all the way down into the hip. Now I want you to reach both arms at the same time and then alternate reaching. Notice what you're feeling. Check in there. Okay, now a lot of the stiffness comes from our thoracic spine or T-spine, this part all right here. So what we want to do now is we want to get it to move. Be a little more mobile. To do that, you're going to lay on your roller, so longwise, so it's like a T across your T-spine. You're on your shoulder blades. Now I want you to cross your arms over your chest, place your hands on your shoulders like you're giving yourself a hug, and pull your elbows towards your belly. Good. Now I want you to lengthen through the neck. Now your hips stay on the floor and you're going to curve yourself over the roller. I'm making adjustments. So slide yourself either forward or back so you can get that range of motion. And then you're going to lift back, tuck your chin into your chest, and then roll back over the top, like you're arching over the top, but with the shoulder blades, and then come up and back down. So you're opening and closing that thoracic spine on the roller. Now, if you go too far back and it catches your breath, you might have the roller too low on your rib cage. You don't want it too low on the rib cage or to go into the ribs. If you have it too high, you might not be able to move at all. And it's not the head that's moving, it's the back, your upper body. Don't let your head fling backwards. If it bothers your neck, hold your hand behind your head. One more, open and close. Excellent. Good. Now, you're going to uncross your arms, bring them out to the side, and place your fingertips behind your ears. So now you're totally supporting your head and your neck. Lengthen the neck, lift your hips off the floor, and now you're going to roll the upper back. And you're going to roll to about mid-back where the belly button would have meet on the other side, and forward and back. All the way. One more. Now roll back to where you started, more towards the top of the shoulder blades. Lower the hips. Good. Reach your right arm over your head, way behind you. Just notice where it goes. Feel what you're feeling in those armpits, and then bring the hand back behind the ears, and then reach the left arm. We're getting close. We're going to improve our range of motion even more than this. So it's coming. And then bring the fingertips back behind the head, lift the hips, roll one more time along the back. Now, part of when that's affecting when we're swimming or what's affecting that is the lats. So now you're going to drop down onto, let's start with, most of you probably have the right. So we're going to start on the right. I'm going to drop to my right hip. I'm turning all the way to my right side on the roller. So I'm placing the roller pretty much in my armpit. And then we're going to straighten the right arm. Palm is up. Now, this is where it gets tricky because you want to be able to maneuver this. So I'm placing my left foot on the floor for leverage and my knee is bent. Because then I'm going to use that leg, I'm lifting my hips just ever so slightly off the roller, off the floor. And so I can use my arm as well to slide myself upwards so the roller goes into my lats below my armpit. Now, if you go too low, you can hit a rib. Do not go too low. You don't want to pop a rib or hurt anything. So you be mindful of how much pressure you're putting and how far down you go. It's just like an inch or two. And then I'm sliding down so I go into the tricep just a little bit past above that armpit. And then back down into those lats and then back up into the tricep. Palm is up. So do about 4 of those. Excellent. Now I want you to turn the palm down. If your head is getting tired or your neck, let your head rest on your arm and slide upwards and back down again. So repeat 4 times, this time with your palm down. And you might feel a difference there when you change the palm. Oh, what is going on there? Last one. Excellent. Now, keeping the palm down, let your head rest, and now just roll your body side to side. So you're going right into the armpit, and then when you roll backwards, you're going into that shoulder blade and a little bit of those posterior shoulders, which is the posterior delt, all the muscles back there. One more. And then we're going to roll all the way back onto our back onto the hips. The shoulder blades are on the roller. Place your left hand behind your head and lean back and just open up. Look at the ceiling or the sky. Open your chest. Take your right arm and reach it towards your heel as far as you can. Really, really stretch it. Reach for your toes. Your knees are bent, feet are flat, hips are down. Now take that right arm, reach it over your head so your thumb is down. Anybody notice a difference? Reach your left arm to join it. Does the left feel sticky? Doesn't reach as far, right? alternate reaching right and left as you slide just ever so slightly along that thoracic spine as you reach one arm then the other. Good, hands behind the head so you support it. Now you're going to tuck your chin, a little bit of a stretch here, pull your shoulders away from your ears as you're tucking your chin. Excellent, and then release. Now you're gonna roll onto your left hip and the roller is gonna go in your left armpit. So as I lay on my left hip, I'm bringing my right foot on top, in front of the left thigh, knee is bent. You can do this, right? Now you're going to reach your left arm way out in front of you, out to the front, backside. Drop your head. Now use your hand and your foot to drag yourself all the way down into those lats. Remember not to hit the ribs. Be mindful, and then back up so you hit that tricep. Adjust the hips. Maybe you lift the hips and then put them back down as you scoot north and south. And notice the difference. So this is the left lat. Maybe it's not as intense. Maybe you've had a shoulder injury and this is more intense. So remember to just ease off when you need to. Don't put as much pressure. Now we're going to turn the palm down towards the floor and again, roll up and down, forward like north and south. That's it. We're almost there. Excellent. And then let that head rest. Now, head is resting on your shoulder, palm is down, roll yourself east and west now, like towards your armpit, and then towards the back shoulder blade, towards the armpit, and then back towards the shoulder blade. Couple more times, and just notice the difference on this side. Excellent. Now you're going to roll back onto those shoulder blades to the center of your hips. Find the middle of those shoulder blades. Remember we did the arm cross. Cross your arms over your chest again. We're going to stretch that arm in just a moment, but I want you to open and close. So don't let the head fall back, but just curve your body over the back of the roller. You might have a little more range of motion this time. One more. Excellent. Now, bring yourself to neutral. Place your right hand behind your head. Reach your left hand towards your foot. All the way, really reach it. Feel the shoulder pulling away from the ear. Now take that left hand and reach it over your head. All the way back. Feel that stretch. Good, now reach the right arm to join it. Both arms reaching overhead. Rock your body gently side to side. And then bring your elbows towards the roller. Place them on the roller so they can assist you to come all the way up. Knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Slide both hands underneath your thighs, and you can make two fists or you can interlace the fingers. And then I want you to sit up nice and tall and just feel that stretch through the neck. Slightly draw your chin towards your chest and then start to round through your back and draw your belly back. And just breathe here. And then sit up nice and tall. Keep your hands interlaced. Sit as tall as you can and then turn your head to the right. And then slowly turn your head the other way. And just notice where you feel the stretch and the pull. And then release the hands. Good. Cross your legs. We're not done yet. We got to finish up. We have one more that's really going to help to increase your range of motion, but we got a big part of it there, but we still got to hit pectoralis muscles. So I want you to reach the right arm up and then the left. And as you reach the right arm, notice even through the side of the body and the hips. Is there a difference from there, from before? Yep, well, we're not quite done. You got one more area that you really need to get, especially if you do flies or just freestyle, whatever you're doing. Guess what gets tight? Your pectoralis muscles. So right before we get there though, we want to touch on core, because if our shoulders and everything is rounded and tight and working super hard, it will take over and the core won't work as hard. So let's make sure we get that core fired up, and then we'll stretch and do the pec. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your roller, you're gonna lay on your back. And I want you to, whether you have short or long, it doesn't matter, you're gonna place the roller between your knees and your feet, and you're gonna hold it there. And really think about pushing your back into the floor. And I want you to squeeze your knees, squeeze them into the roller. Relax your shoulders, bring both arms up to the sky. Keep squeezing those knees and the feet into the roller. Reach your right hand overhead, left arm to the left hip, and then switch. Alternating, keep squeezing. So now your core has to work while your arms are lengthening and stretching. See if you can get a little bit further with each reach. Really lengthen. Maybe your shoulders feel a little freer now, hopefully. All right, one more, and then we're gonna take the arms up to the sky, open wide like a T, let them rest for a moment. Now check in here to see which side of the pec muscles, the chest, might be a little tighter. You might notice a difference. Don't let the roller go. Squeeze it. Push your back into the mat. Now I want you to take your right hand and place it on the right thigh, on the front of the thigh. Now your right thigh is going to resist your hand pushing against the front of it, and I want you to reach your left arm way overhead. So your core is engaging and your left arm is reaching, and it's mostly a lot of the obliques. And then slowly release the left hand, place it on your left front of your thigh, push against it, the knees are squeezing into the roller, your hand is pushing into that left thigh, back is into the mat, reach your right arm overhead, and breathe. Relax your shoulders, lengthen, lengthen, and release. Excellent, go ahead and release that roller. You're going to sit yourself up. We're gonna flip around. So now we're gonna do pec stretch, chest stretch. So we tend to be round and tight. So I want you to bring that roller. I'm gonna place it at an angle. So you can see, you're gonna lay on your belly, all the way onto the belly. And then you're going to take the roller, and I want you to tilt it almost like it's going underneath your armpit, and the end of the roller is sticking out of your armpit, is basically what you want. And then you are on your belly. And so my right armpit and the front of my armpit, like the front of my chest, or the shoulder, is on that roller. You're gonna reach the arm out to the side. The palm is flat on the floor. And then use your left hand, and your my upper body is off the floor, but my pelvis and my hips are on the floor. And I want you to roll into the roller and then away from it. So I'm very small little movements. So I'm basically pushing my arm out, and then I'm pulling it in. So it's a very small movement. My elbow's bent at a 90 degree. And then I want you to roll forward into it. So you're pushing into the front of that arm, and then try lifting, keeping your elbow bent, lift the hand up and down. So your back of your hand is lifting off the floor, your palm is lifting off, you're at 90 degrees at your elbow. And then as you come down, you're gonna rotate into the top of that front of that shoulder. Might be getting a little bicep there too. And then go ahead and release. And then I want you to lay on your left side. So whatever side you were just working, you were laying on the opposite side. I'm gonna bend my knees, stack them. I'm gonna just take that right arm up and over, and I'm reaching it behind me. Pull the shoulders away from the ears, tuck your chin. Now turn your head away from your arm. So I'm turning my chin to the left as I reach my right arm behind me to the right. Now I want you to open your fingers and wave like you're waving at someone. And you can maybe feel that all the way through that bicep. And then release and bring it back down. Big shoulder rolls. Use the elbow, circle, circle. Let your left ear drop to the left shoulder as you rotate that right elbow up and around. One more circle. Good. Let's switch sides. Yes, let's switch sides. I did say that. All right, so here we go. So we're going to turn it around. I'm going onto my belly. I'm going to bring the roller so it's under my left armpit and the end of it's coming out of my arm. 90 degrees at my left hand. And then I'm just rotating using my right arm to slide myself. Like basically I'm moving maybe an inch or two and that's it on that roller. It's a very, very small movement. So I'm pressing into the chest wall in the front of that shoulder. And then once you find a spot, push into it and then lift and lower that left hand, keeping it at 90 degrees. Lift and lower. If your head or neck gets tired, you can put your hand in your head on in your hand to support it. You can try moving the arm open and close, sliding it side to side. So many options. Play around with it. See what feels good to you if you find that trigger spot. Then we're going to roll off the roller, pop up on your elbow and your side. So I was working my left, so I'm laying on my right side. I'm bending my knees. And I'm going to reach my left hand behind me, open it up, and I'm going to turn my head down to the right. Now notice the difference. And then I want you to wave like you're waving at someone. Can you tell a difference on this side? I'm asking because I can totally feel a difference on this side compared to the other. And then we're going to come all the way back down, bring hands to the floor, and then we're going to sit up nice and tall. Now, one last one. This is it, the point you've been waiting for. Really, just making sure that you can get that extension. So don't forget to roll. We forgot to circle that elbow. Up and down and around, circling it around. Drop your ear away from the arm that you're circling. Stretch it out. Good. Now we're going to come on to hands and knees. And you're going to do like you're doing a child's pose, knees apart, feet together. Now I want you to put your forearms on the roller, and we're just going to lengthen, actually slide it a little bit closer to your wrists, not your forearms. And then you're going to slide the arms forward and lengthen, 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 and then slide the roller back. So you're really stretching through the lats, the armpits, leaning into it, and then come back up. Bend the elbows as you roll the roller in, and then slide it back out. You can also do this on a wall with the roller. Lengthen, extend, and in one more time. And come all the way up. Good. Go ahead and have a seat. Face the front. Let's check that range of motion. So sit up nice and tall. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls here. And then I want you to reach both arms over your head. Relax those shoulders. And then reach, reach, reach the right arm. Reach, reach, reach the left arm. Both arms come up. And then exhale down, reach both arms behind the back. Interlace the fingers, open up the chest, draw the chin in. Lift the arms, just feel that nice stretch. Turn your head to the left. And then gently let your head turn to the right. And then back to center, release those hands. Let them rest on your thighs. Slide the shoulders to the ears and then back down. Reach the arms out and up. Inhale. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank your body for all it does for you, and it has done. And hopefully you will swim better, move better, and just feel better. Thank you for joining today. Namaste.